Hello, kitties. Today I'm going to tell you the legend of... The reason why I didn't say is because if you say, then we'll come and capture you. So, to prevent from getting me, I will show you this text whenever I need to refer to... The first thing you all must know is what looks like. Is a man-like entity. He wears a hood over his face, and it resembles that of a scarecrow. Other than the white hood, he wears an all-black suit. Has the ability to hover. He also has the ability to materialize rope from within thin air. And other than rope, he carries a candlestick to light the way to his soon-to-be victims. There was once a report of a kidnapping in the city of Baker City, Oregon. The police were called down to the house where a boy was apparently kidnapped earlier that night. When the police entered the room, everything seemed normal enough, except for the bed. The sheets and blankets of the bed were thrown across the floor. The next thing the policemen inspected was the nightstand. There were only two things on the nightstand. One was a burning candlestick, and the other was a little box. The candle looked as though it was freshly lit. The man picked up the box and opened it, and it started to play. It was a music box. The tune was familiar to the man. It was that of the old nursery rhyme, Jack Nimble. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. Next, the officer looked at the closet door. On the handle, he noticed that some rope was coming from the crack of the door. With the music box still playing in the background, he opened the closet door. There, he saw the words written on the back of the wall that said, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. And below the rhyme was the words, it was written in blood. Another is about a father and a boy who go on a camping trip. They are fishing late at night, because that's when all the fish bite. That rhymed. Anyway. The father tells the boy about the myth. The boy doesn't believe it, and the father admits he doesn't really either. He asks the boy to go back to the campground to get something he forgot for fishing. So the boy does, and he returns. Only his father isn't there. Neither was the lantern they brought. Instead of the lantern was a candlestick. The next tale is about a boy and his grandmother. The grandmother is distressed for the ending part of her life, and the boy wonders why. And the grandma tells the boy what is bothering her, saying that he's always watching her. So the boy goes home, and the next day he finds out that his grandma is missing, is just gone and vanished. And he wonders if it was the man. So he says the name that the grandmother said, and it was, of course... Lastly is a story about a boy who had a dream. The boy heard of the phrase, and of course he didn't believe it. So one day he was about to go to sleep, and he chuckled and said the word, and fell asleep. But he had a dream where he was chased by the being, and he died within the dream. But he woke up, so he thought everything was fine. But then he looked down and he saw that his hands had severe rope burns. These stories have a similar structure. Usually, had a child hear not to say, the child says it anyway because he or she doesn't believe in it. Then a candlestick usually appears, then comes and ties them up and takes them away. Then someone finds the crime scene that is usually left where a person is now aware of. One variable that changes from story to story is whether it is from first person or third person perspective. For example, the dream story is told in first person of the boy who dreamt about, while in the other stories it was told from someone's perspective of having a loved one taken from them by... Another variable of the stories is the age of the victim. For example, in the grandmother story, it was an elderly old lady that was captured by... While in the other stories, it was usually a young child or young adult. I gave out a survey to people, and a lot of them didn't believe that existed. But what is shocking is that there is actual footage of the first sighting of... If you are squeamish, please look away, for the upcoming video is very shocking. Without further ado, here is the video.
The guy you really gotta watch out for is Candlejack.
Candlejack? Who's that?
He's the boogeyman, the for real one. He comes to kids at night and steals them from their beds. Then he takes them to some secret place, and they never ever come back.
Why does he do that?
'Cause he's a nut.
Oh. How does he get ya?
That's the good part. He can't. Not unless you say his name out loud. So don't say his name, okay?
Okay. Hey, Buzz, we did say his name out loud.
Uh-oh! Maybe he didn't hear it.
Hello, boys. Scream.
It's Candlejack!
Care to join us?
Don't say it!
What?
Candlejack! Oops.
Why, thank you.
No! I said Applejacks! I wanted some Applejacks, didn't I?
Yeah, he didn't say Candlejack. Nuts. Huh? What's going on? Look, it's Candlejack! Candlejack!
I'm gonna need more rope. Scream.
Yes, that's right, folks. The myth of... originated from a children's cartoon show. How could something so innocent at heart turn into such a gruesome tale? Well, the answer is very simple. The internet. It grew into popularity for people to say, and then end their sentence abruptly, to show that got them. It then turned into actual stories of kidnappings. But why? Is it just human nature? Well, in my survey, a lot of people answered yes to the question, have you ever done something you were specifically told not to? This brings us to the 3 messages of the stories. First, let's talk about the secondary message, since I will be saving the primary message for last, since I feel it is the most important. Do as you are told. If you do exactly the opposite of what is said to you, then bad things will happen to you. Pretty obvious. Next is what I believe is the tertiary message. People are afraid of breaking the social norms. Represents society, and the kids are afraid of going against society by saying his name. And if the kids are brave enough to go against society by saying his name, society will tie them up and punish them. And finally, and most importantly, the primary message. Don't say Candlejack! Oh shit, I just said Candlejack.